Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the recordings of Accounting Information System. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 2 of Accounting Information System, which talks about the relationship between information technology and AIS. Let's have a look at the outline of this chapter, which is firstly we will have an introductory information about the topics. Then we will see why the information technology is important for the accountant. We will look into some input, processing and output devices. We will also talk about data communication and networks. And then finally, we will be talking about computer softwares. So why the IT is important for the accountants, why the technology is important for the accountants. So there are main 6 reasons for this. Number 1, the IT should be, or information technology should be compatible, and it should support other components of accounting information system. Now what does it mean? It means that the software or the system, IT system you want to purchase, it might have a lot of functions, a lot of stuff, but you will be looking into only that stuff which is relevant to your business. If you remember, we have taken the concept of cloud computing in chapter number 1. Cloud computing means so much facility is provided in an virtual space. You don't need to buy that space by yourself. You can use the facilities or the softwares or the programs or the storage area on a central location, right? It's huge. How much you need, it depends on the requirement of your company. So that's why I'm saying that the IT should be compatible, and it should be compatible to your business requirement, and it should support your business components. Accountants, they also help the clients make softwares and hardware purchases, because they tell the clients that which type of hardwares and softwares are going to be helpful for them. For example, if the IT people, if the accounting people are not being consulted, then might be the company will be ending up purchasing so much in hardware which is not needed. Auditor, they must evaluate the computerized system. Now auditing is one of the major area of accounting, or you can say accounting is authenticated or guaranteed by the auditors. So accountants should be very careful, and they should know that auditors are also going to evaluate the computerized systems. In order to move into the new software or new technology, the accountants are often asked to check what was the qualities or what was the advantages or disadvantages of the old system, of the existing system, so that they can compare the efficiency of existing system with the new prospect purchase system, or you can say the system which they are planning to purchase. You can compare the existing system comparability or compatibility with the new system, and you can check that the new system is effective or not. So this task is done by the accountants from the accounting information system perspective. IT has also facilitated the accounting and finance people. It really affected how the accountants were working in old days and how they are working now and how they will be working in the future. Finally, it's very important for the accountants to understand how the system works relevant to the accounting. Why? Because all major certifications of accounting, major qualifications of accounting, or you can say professional qualifications of accounting, they need some some you can say competency of the candidates from the IT side as well. So understanding for these accountants are very important, because if they understand the systems well, it will be a good thing for them to qualify the certifications or the exams for the accounting. AICPA has planned, or you can say has done 10 information technology innovations, or you can say some 10 new areas in information technology. What is AICPA? This is American Institute of Certified Public Accountant. CPA is Certified Public Accountant. AI means American Institute. So they have actually done an annual survey of its member to identify what are the top 10 information system technologies which are affecting the study and the practices of accounting, and they come up with the following answer. So I will be using 2 pages to explain you the top 10 information technologies. So number one, they figure out that information security is the key and hot topic by the researchers. It's very important because for accounting perspective, system stores the sensitive information. So the security for this information is very important. Also, when you are distributing, or you are sending the financial information or accounting information or internal information from one party to another, it's very important to secure it and also to control it. Why? Because everybody should not be allowed to send anything from the organization they want. They can only send those information which they are authorized to. Also, identifying and access management is also a key and hot topic in information technology. Backup, disaster planning, and business continuity is also the key topics in the area of information technology. Why? Because if you don't take the backups of your data, or something happen which is seen, or you don't know that it's gonna happen, and all of the sudden the bad thing happen, your data storage devices are collapsed, or because of the power breakage your system collapse. So what is your planning regarding that, and what is your planning for the business continuity without getting affected from the other factors? Also, securing the electronic collaborations is also a key topic. Collaborations means working by joining the hands of other. So how you're going to do the electronic collaborations which are secure, that's also a key topic in the information technology from the accounting perspective. Accounting is dealing with a lot of paperwork. Now with the help of the technology, they are moving slowly towards the paperless technology. Laptop security was also a key topic. Small businesses softwares, because every organization cannot purchase the big softwares which are enterprise resource planning software. They're very expensive. So small businesses software who facilitates the organization, they are also now in trend. Mobile computing is also a key topic in the area of accounting. Tax softwares and electronic filing for the tax authorities is also getting importance. Finally, the server vitalization and the consolidation. Vitalization means making the servers vital, and consolidation means merging them, or dealing with other organizations, you can say resources. So this is also getting an important trend in the accounting. Moving on towards our second important topic, which is input, processing, and output devices. All those devices which provides the data or inputs to the central processing unit to be processed, or all those devices which provides the data to the computer or to the devices, they are known as input devices. Common input devices are scanner. You scan the document and you get the data. Your keyboard, MICR reader, I'll be discussing this in a while. Mouse, that screen. Then there are some devices which are used for the communication purpose. So communication devices could be input devices as well. So because they communicate and data is stored in the system as an input. So communication devices, the most common example is modem, which is useful for the internet services. We have point of sale terminals in the supermarkets, the place where you do the billing, that machine which reads the prices, that is point of sale terminal. ATM machine is also a processing unit which process which communicate. How does it communicate? You input your card in it, and it processes the card, and it helps in communication to get the money from your account. Large display unit is also it's not an communication, it's actually an output device. So large display screens are the output devices. They output what is being processed behind the scene. Audio speakers, printer, and the monitors are the output devices. Then we have storage devices, the devices which helps us in storing the data. So we have USB drive, we have hard disk, we have CD-ROMs, and we have indeed DVD drives. So these are some devices which are used for input processing and output devices. Storing devices are nowadays a lot. They have so much new things. Also the input devices are a lot because the technology is getting more. So these are the basic input processing and output devices. Now let's have a look at input devices in more detail. So input devices are basically the source of the data. When I say source of the data, so they are helping in getting the data. It's the starting point for any system. It includes what? It includes the forms, the application forms, the patient intake forms, sales invoices, cash distribution vouchers. So many things could be the input devices. Source documents, when I say they are the source document, source documents are very important for the accounting information system, because they are such type of documents which human can read and also the machine can read. The most common example is the sales invoice. So they can be they can be read by the human, and human can enter them into the system, and if they have a barcode, machine can also read it. Okay. Point of sale devices are those devices which helps us in getting the data at the point of sale. The most common point of sale device is the barcode reader. When you scan your purchase product at the cash counter of a departmental store, they scan with the machine, handheld machine, the bar which is on the product. So that bar is known as universal product code, and it is read by the barcode reader. Okay. Then we have also magnetic ink character recognition, which is known as MIRC. Magnetic ink character recognition helps in reading the characters which are having the magnetic ink into them. Now if you had a chance to see a check, how it looks like, this is an example of a check used by the banks. It has some codes at the bottom. These codes are magnetic characters which are recognized by the machine. So these characters are basically coding about what? Coding about the check number, the bank number, the account number. So they have hidden information. So these magnetic ink character recognition is done by the machines to copy the stuff on the system. We also have optical character recognition, which is known as OCR. OCR is having a capability to read the marks, characters on some input stuff, Now we all are very well familiar with the bubble sheets. We also call them Scantron paper, which are used by major examinations. You mark the right answer or the alphabet box. Like, let's suppose if the answer of a multiple choice question is C, you will color or you will mark it with a pencil, right? The C, the circle C will be filled. Now the optical character recognition will be, the technology will be used, and the paper will be scanned from the machine, and the machine will be able to mark these highlighted points, and in this way the paper will be marked. Okay, there is another example, that is turn around documents. As its name says that it's turn around. So firstly, the document is produced from the system. Document could be a card, it could be, you can say, a paper, anything. Okay, so it is printed from the system and some extra information is added into it. So this information which is added, it could be manual, it could be by scanning some other stuff, but do remember some extra information is added into this document, and this document is returned to the system. So the most common examples are the electricity meters outside your houses or the water meters outside your houses. They have, the program which is generated by the system, so which is output by the system. Now the meter card are produced by the system to take the reading from these gas meters or water meters, and when you take the reading, the data is stored in this card, which is returned back to the organization where it is taken back into the system. So firstly, we have an output in form of a document or a device. We add some information into it and it is becoming an input for the data. Another common example which everyone is using nowadays is credit card. When you do the online purchases, especially on Amazon, you can scan your card with the help of your mobile. The credit card has a small chip on it, so you can scan it with the help of your mobile, and then what will happen, first let's understand how this card is an output. Of course, it is generated by the machine of the bank, so it is firstly an output, right? Now we need to add the data into it. So you did our online purchases and you scan this chip on your credit card, and your credit card information is gone into your system, and then what will happen, your bill will be added to this credit card. So information is added, right? And now it will become an input to deduct the money from your bank account or from your credit card limit. So because you know that credit card are two types, so any type of credit card could be an example for this type of optical character recognition, or you can say a turnaround document. Moving on towards plastic card with magnetic strip. So think about the debit or the credit cards you are having. This is your card. It has a black strip on its back. This is known as magnetic strip. So when you give this card to the banks, they swap it. They just swap it from the machine. So that machine is basically plastic card, magnetic strip reader, and this card is an input to give the money to the bank or to any a point of sale or to any place where the card is swapped. Then we have microcomputer input devices. They are known as microcomputer because these devices has all many things which a computer can do, so we call them microcomputer. What is the most common example? PDA. Everyone knows what is PDA. PDA, the most common example is your mobile phone, right? What does this PDA do? It helps us in doing the calculations. It helps us in doing the computing, faxing, or using the internet. It has the networking features. So PDA means personal data assistant, which is personal for you. It's not a public device. So the most common example for the PDA is your mobile phones, tablets, iPads. I just explained you two things in the previous slides. We talked about plastic card with magnetic strip. Can you see? They are swapping your card because it has a magnetic strip. And I also explained to you here this one turn around document, where I gave you the example of the credit card that you scan the chip. So see here, you are scanning this chip on your card, okay, to bill it. Some more input devices are digital cameras. They capture the images and they provide it to process further. Then the biometric scanner. Biometric scanner is another source of input device which helps us in doing these four sub stuff. It includes the behavioral system. Behavioral system means your signatures, your voice, these things it can identify. Then psychological systems. When I say psychologicals, it talks about fingerprints, your retina capture. Retina is the eye behind part capture, your face capture, your jaw lines, your ear shape. So these things comes in psychological system. Then come enrollment. Biometric scanners also helps in enrollment. This one is small files. They help us in getting the data into the system. Then the Hamming distance. It is also one of the character of the biometric scanner. Hamming distance is used to define some essential notions in coding theory, such as error detection or error correcting codes. When an error is happening into the system, it is being detected, and it helps us in correcting that coding error. So this is also the feature of the biometric scanner. So when you talk about biometric scanner, don't forget to talk about these four types. After the input devices, we have a central process input process. So in order to process the data, we need CPUs. CPUs could be in any machine which process the data. It's not only in the computers, it could be in any machine, okay. So the primary memory has the data stored in it, which is supposed to be processed by the CPU. So primary memory is actually it's not able to process the data because of its function. So it just stores the data, and this data goes into the processor where it is being processed to generate the required information. The most common example of primary memory is RAM, random access memory. Computers cannot manipulate the information without the help of the microprocessor. So it is an integrated circuit. It is a small chip that contains all the functions for the processing, which is used into the computers or your devices where you process the data. Let's talk about output devices, because we all are very much familiar with them, so I'm not going to explain them in much detail. We know that many types of printers are there, so they are all the categories of output devices. All the videos output, any form, they are your output devices. And also the multimedia you use in form of projectors, in form of screens, they all are the output devices. Let's move on towards the next, which is known as data communication and network. How do you communicate the data among the devices? Of course, you do it with the help of networks, right? So the networks are of two categories. We have local area network and we have wide area network. Okay, so let's start with the local area network, which is also known as LAN. LAN is also known as the private network. It is not open to public. Okay, um, LAN is that network which is in a you can say one location, and it could be shared at small places, but not in all over the world. So the most common example, if you see over here, there is a file server, and all the employees in the organization, they can use the device, the files in this central location, but when they go home they cannot open this because was locally provided in the organization. Also, the printers could be attached with this, or the online storage could be there, right? If you remember, in your offices or in your college, there are some files which are available in the college central place, but when you go home you cannot access those files. So this is the example of the local area network. There are some advantages of local area network. Number one, it facilitates the communication in an organization. You can share the equipment, or sharing computer equipment. You don't need to attach printer with every employee's computer. There could be a central printer which could be used by all the employees because they are connected. Also, the computer files, the soft files, could be accessed by the employees because they are stored in the local area storage. Saving the software cost. You not need to buy the, or don't need to install the software in each and every computer. It will be in the central location, which could be used by all the employees. Enabling unlike computer equipment to communicate. You can enable unlike computer equipment. Enable means make it available when you want to communicate. Make it disable when you don't want it to be attached. LAN was the private network. We have WAN, which is also known as public, and it is used by all the people anywhere, any place in the world, because it takes the help of satellite, not like local server which is over here. No, it takes the help of satellite. So you can see that the most common examples, you people use the Blackboard, you people use Educate, right? Or you can say you can access your bank account. All these things you are able to access because of the WAN, wide area network, right? Let's talk about different computer softwares. So when I'm talking about softwares includes operating system, includes application software, and of course it includes the programming languages because they are also in soft form. So let's start from the operating systems. Operating systems helps in the operating. Starting with the GUI, graphical user interface. It's not a science. You know that this one, you can see my screen. I have different pencil signs. I have different shapes. So these all are the graphical user. I don't need to type the coding to open or change the color of my pencil. I can open any folder or any, you can say, application in my computer just with the help of one click, which is on my desktop or which is in my main menu of the computer. Why? Because they are the graphics. I don't need to type the coding to open a program, right? So end users, they always have GUI because they're not programming experts. So they click on the icons, then the icons are opened for them. We also have utility programs. Utility means things which helps in working. Okay, so when I say utility programs, they are the part of the operating system that helps you in performing different tasks, like copying the files, converting the files from one format to another format, if you want to print the file. So all these things comes in the utility programs. We have virtual storage as well. Virtual storage is, you can say, a central storage, or you can say which is in the computer. You don't need to store it in the, your hard disk or USB. Now how the the files are stored in your iPad or in your computer, because of the virtual storage. Then antiviruses and antivirus software and the viruses, they're also in the soft program. Viruses are the wrong stuff which make your data corrupted. So in order to avoid the viruses, we install antivirus programs. Nowadays they are built in the operating systems, so they tell you that this file is harmful, don't download it, or some outside factors are trying to access your system. So they are the alerts generating. So these are also nowadays the part of your operating systems. Then comes application softwares. You use application softwares to work on the system, to work on the computers. So they are the programs that help the end users. End users are you and me who finally use this computer. So they help the end users in the companies from the accounting perspective to perform their job. So when I say application software, we can categorize them into different categories. Personal productivity softwares. Personal productivity softwares, they are those softwares which helps the accountants in working, like let's suppose Word, Microsoft Excel, right? Then comes commercial productivity software. These are those productivity software which are commercially available. So commercial productivity software's most common example is project management softwares. Project managers use CAD software, means computer aided design software. They help you in designing your product or clothing, right? Then comes accounting softwares. When I say accounting softwares, they perform accounting relevant tasks like creating the record for accounts receivable, payroll, inventory, creating the, you can say, financial statements. We also have communication software. Communication softwares helps us in communicating the data from one place to another. Nowadays we have a lot of communication packages, like let's suppose we all use Google, or you can say web browsers. So they are the communication softwares. Then we have ERP, the most the vast type of the application software. It is enterprise resource management software, or resource planning. P is for planning, okay, software. So this has all the functions, as I explained in the previous chapter. It has all the functions of the organizations, and it supports the working within the organization easily. Moving on towards the programming languages. I'm not going to explain them in much detail because we are not the IT, or you can say computer science students. We are accounting students, but yes, we should know that there are programming languages which helps us in designing these programs. So the most common examples are Java, C++, okay, Oracle, HTML, and that's it. Okay, so from accounting perspective, do remember them. You don't need to know how they program because that's the computer stuff, but yes, the program which is being developed, if it is relevant to the accounting, which tabs you need, which icons you need, which applications you need, you have to help them being an accountant, because you know better accounting than the computer. The computer people knows how to develop the program with the help of language. So there is a collaboration between the accounting and the IT in order to develop these softwares. This is it about the coverage of chapter number 2, which was about information technology and accounting information system. Soon I will meet you again with another chapter of accounting information system. If you want to listen to the next upcoming recordings, please like and subscribe the video and subscribe the channel so that you get a notification for the upcoming videos. Take care everyone. Have a great day.